found. I was 10 months old when my parents and I came to Japan. I've lived here for 13 years, so I'm half Japanese and half Brazilian. Maybe some people don't know, but here in Japan it's easier to have a dream than Brazil or some other countries when you think about money. I was 5 years old when I said to my parents that I wanted to be a doctor, a hairdresser, a teacher, a singer, an engineer, or a driver. Actually, I wanted to be a hero. Maybe this dream wasn't impossible to me if I worked hard and studied my whole life. But in a lot of countries, a lot of 5-year-old children have a dream to be a hero too. A hero because a hero can give food to their family or give a better life to them. When I was 7 years old, the dream I picked out was to be a doctor. I wanted to save people from death. I wanted to be able to help the world just a little. Help the people who don't have food or such things that you can have here in Japan. Their reality is much sadder. When I said this to my parents, they became very happy because my mother started working and living alone when she was 14. And my father started working when he was young too. That's why today they work in a factory here in Japan. And they always say, we didn't have a future, so now we work a lot to give you a wonderful future. I had this dream for 4 years. When I was 11 years old, I started studying English. The course is a little expensive, so I asked my mother and she told me, if you really want to do the course, I'll pay for it, but only if you study really hard. In the first week of the course, I really hated it. I was very shy, so when I needed to read something in a loud voice or say something in English, I started to get nervous or get butterflies in my stomach. It was really difficult for me to hold back my nervousness, so I spoke in a really small voice. Actually, I felt like a fish out of water and thought about jumping out a lot of times. Speaking with people I didn't know wasn't my cup of tea, but my teacher always told me that I was cut out to learn English. 1 year later, I made up my mind to be interested in English because I didn't want to let down my parents. I started watching a lot of movies in English and listening to music in English a lot too. Little by little, I started to take up studying English. Then, I started junior high school, and of course, I loved the English classes. I liked my teacher very much, and my ALT teacher, Sarah, too. 1 year passed, and then came another ALT teacher, Maureen. She was really kind too. In the same year, some EI students and I went to Hobart, Australia, to stay there for about 10 days and do a homestay. It was the best 10 days of my life. I stayed in a Christian family's house. The people were very kind and lovely, but the 10 days finished really fast and everybody was sad. Now, I can explain some things in English and get my meaning across to people, but one day I wanted to give up the course. But today, English is the best thing that has happened in my life. Today, my dream is to visit the whole world. And where I want to go most is to America and to England. Australia was one of them too, but God started realizing my dream last year. Now, day by day, I want to learn more and more English because it's the love that I have found. And I want to use this love to help out the needy and to be as a good example to the kids in order to never give up their dreams and find a love as I found mine. Thank you for listening.